Hey, just heading over to the house. So today we have something special going on. It's a family project. It's a bit of a long build. You know, we're saving it all up to just make one video on it. And pretty much it's my dad's old beloved Excursion. He purchased it in 2001. The Excursion's a 2000. And from the dealership he purchased it from, it already had the 4-inch lift kit. It's the limited edition Excursion, so it has the leather interior, has DVD, VHS, TVs, and whatnot. But man, it's taking the whole family to Mexico, Cali, left, right, up, down, everywhere. So that's why it's really special to us. It ran into some issues, and you know, years ago he had a couple mechanics work on it, and you know how it goes. Some mechanics are trustworthy, and we thought these guys were too. So they put their hands on it, they rebuilt the engine, they did these things left and right on it, and it just ended up not working out. It is what it is. We hit them back up, they never showed up again. They were paid already, so they weren't gonna show up and fix their mistakes no more. So we decided right here, you know, Proyectos Los Carnales, let's bring on this project. So we got together, found a nice donor vehicle, got it pretty cheap, has a V10 that we were looking for. So we drove around that. The donor vehicle is a van, well taken care of. I'll put up a quick flick of it. The V10 out of the Excursion. I don't know if you guys could see with this clarity. Mounts are out, leaking oil pan, just a lot of different little issues with it. So yeah, I had already given up. We went with the guys at Rock Auto. This isn't no sponsored event or nothing. Obviously we're no one getting sponsored by Rock Auto anytime soon, but I usually like dealing with them because you get the same stuff at a lot better pricing. And it's crazy, I don't know how or why it works like that, but here we go. That's what we're gonna run on it. Just the intake manifold, valve covers, and oil pan. Everything else looked fine after we kind of scraped the edges. We didn't find any other leaks. The oil pan was the main thing leaking, and the power steering pump itself. So yeah, we're getting rid of that power steering pump anyway, so the other one's it's not leaking, it's fine. And then we're just doing the valve covers and the intake because we're changing the intakes and we're changing the valve covers. And then spark plugs because it never hurts. But yeah, definitely. We ran through Rock Auto, and this versus O'Reilly or AutoZone, we actually saved 80 bucks. And we just waited like 3 days for it, and it got here. So yeah, shout out to those guys. I'm not bashing on nobody. I am saying we go to AutoZone frequently, so it's just whenever we have a nice long-term project that we don't need done right then and there, you know, why not save a couple bucks if we're working on something else anyways. pretty much we had the engine set inside, and I'll show you guys right now where the progress. We got Ivan right here. He's doing the intake. Say hi, Ivan.
Hello, guys.
So he's setting up the intake, finishing tightening up all these little bolts. We got the harnesses, little items that are set to be put on. That's the top of the engine. The easy part was dropping it in. The fun part's gonna be reassembling everything. All the harnesses, where they go, make sure all the grounds are grounded off correctly. And then afterwards, we're just gonna set up their coolant and everything. Got new gaskets, new seals on there. Down here earlier this morning, we have the other Julio. So under this excursion, this is what we got going on. We have Julio over here. Say hi, Julio.
Hello.
Earlier this morning we got under here and we finished mating the transmission to that engine, threw the torque converter in, put the exhaust, the drive shaft, and everything back on here. So this is what we were working on earlier. We're just finalizing the little steps so we could get out from under here and be done, and just focus our attention in the top with the radiator and different accessories that are left. But yeah, we should be able to have this thing start up by the end of the day. So here we are in Proyectos Los Carnales. As you can see, we're continuing this build on the excursion. I got Anthony right here and Ivan's right there. What up, guys? And Mother Nature said, hey, let's make it rain, but let's make it rain a lot. So that's what's going on right now. There's puddles everywhere, and I don't know if the camera could catch it, but it's like right here, barely hitting this plastic. So Ivan's barely clearing it. You can see all the drops right here, and right here it's barely clearing it. Yeah, guys, so even in all this rain, everything, you could see the engine. We put everything back on it. We have Ivan right here. He's been doing everything in the top. I've been working on the bottom of the engine. And right now we have the battery charge on for a while. We're gonna give it its first crank and see if this thing comes alive. Yeah, so we tried to start it and you guys saw it wouldn't crank over. Our gauge cluster kept telling us the theft was on. So I called a buddy of mine, a really knowledgeable guy, Martin. He works at an electrician shop, and he's like, hey, you know, if you have a spare key, try it. And if you don't have that, let me know. I could program your chip, because when the theft flashes, it means the key died and it needs to get reprogrammed in Ford. But luckily we have a spare key for this thing, so let's see what it does. So here we are, I'm with Ivan, and what are we doing?
So you guys can see we're in the excursion. The engine's finally in. We came to bring it through a quick little car wash because this thing's been sitting for quite a few years. All right, guys, so this is the way we're gonna end our episode of the rebuild on the Ford Excursion. So you guys can see it's up and running, and it's pretty much good to go now. So see you guys in the next video.